than $10,000 of Casper or $10,000 of Stellar, XLM, both hugely hot altcoins right now, both with different risk to reward profiles. In this video, I'm going to break down which one provides the best returns and which ones I'll be stacking. As you can see here, Casper close to all-time highs here with a violent week down to the downside. XLM still miles from its all-time highs. One, an old project launched around 2015 in the early days. Casper launched much later in 2021, proof of work. XLM using their novel consensus mechanism. Which one provides the best risk to return? In this video, we're going to break that down. You guys seem to be responding well to this format. Again, I've done a Casper versus Cadena breakdown, which was a proof of work battle. Go watch that video here. In this video, we're going to compare XLM versus Casper. Okay, so for those who are new, the format of this video is we're going to start off with the premise that we go buy a bunch of XLM and Casper tokens. Which one is going to give us the quickest multiple on our money? Remember, loads of people still misunderstand this. They focus on the price and they don't focus on the market cap. It's important that if we want a token price to 5x, 10x, etc., we're basically saying that the market cap is going to deliver on that as well. So sitting here today with XLM sitting at around that 14-cent mark, we are sitting at a market cap of $3.8 billion. This is how you value the project. So when we're comparing that to Casper, we have to compare that number because Casper currently is sitting at $750 million in market cap. Of course, we'll have to take into account the tokenomics, but this video is not meant as a tokenomics breakdown. If you want a separate tokenomic breakdown of Casper, of XLM, you've got to let me know in the comments. So then if we want to spend $1,000 today, and you can scale this up and down based on your wallet and the amount you can afford, $1,000 gets you 7,000 XLM tokens at today's price. $10,000 gets you 70,000 tokens, and if you can afford up to 50,000, you're getting 350,000 Stellar XLM tokens today. So let's say we now want to 5x. And again, a 5x on something like XLM is not asking for a lot. Remember, the all-time high sit at 93 cents. So you're even there, 71 cents for a 5x is still quite off of its all-time highs. That would bring you to a market cap of $19 billion. Now you need to ask yourself, how does this compare? Well, on the right-hand side here, I've put a few other comparative projects. It's obviously hard with XLM to do a lot with payments. I've put a few companies there. Stripe, 50 billion in valuation. PayPal, 80 billion in valuation. XRP, which of course you can compare, sitting at around that $38 billion in market cap. And of course, Visa, if you're a bit more ambitious in terms of where XLM can go in the future, $500 billion in market cap. So to make the argument that we can't get to $20, this would be, in my opinion, a failed investment, right? If you're investing in XLM today and you're going to hold this into the next bull market and you don't comfortably think it's going to 5x to bring you to this 20 billion market cap, that is mission failed, right? That, if I would mark that in my book as lessons to be had. This was not a good investment. Do better next time, right? So this is a comfortable risk to return. Of course, that's going to take your 1,000, turn it into 5,000, your 10 into 50. And I know it sounds blasé, but this is trodden path, right? If we jump into the charts of XLM, it's been at those levels before. We're not asking for anything crazy. We're just asking it to get back to this 70 cents region, not even at all-time highs. Then we want to look at something a little bit more ambitious, right? This is where we start saying, okay, this will be the target case. Really, if you're investing in XLM, you got to at least have conviction that it's going to do this. Otherwise, don't invest, in my personal opinion, right? If you don't think it can 10x and get to $1.43, that is bringing you to $38 billion. And that is XRP's current market cap. Now, even if you believe XLM is better than XRP or you think XRP is better, it doesn't matter. That's not the point here. The point here is they're operating in similar territories. XRP is sitting at $38 billion in a bear market, and you expect that to go up. Therefore, you're arguing that in the peak of a bull market, for XLM to get to $38 billion, this would be your case for investing, right? If you're investing in this project. Now, if you mess up and it doesn't quite get there, but maybe you get a 5x, you're still doing pretty okay, right? You're still getting a good return on your money. But this is the base case that I personally would want to be entering this position at. If it didn't do a 10x, I'd be very, very disappointed. And again, that takes your $10,000 and immediately puts you up into the six-figure club with just one smart investment there. Okay, so now let's push out the boat a little bit. Let's now take a look and say, okay, we're going to be a bit more ambitious, right? We want a 20x. Remember, guys, loads of people, when they invest in crypto, you can tell who's new straight off the bat. They're the ones that come in and say, oh, buy this coin, it's got 100x, it's got 1,000x. They just throw out some number, and they've never done this modeling. They've just never done this exercise to actually understand, if I'm saying that my coin's got 100x, what does that mean in terms of market cap? Is that even believable, right? How does it compare to other companies in the world? So we're saying we're going to do a 20x. A 20x gets you to $2.85 here on XLM, and that brings you to a market cap of $77 billion. $77 billion here in the midst of a bear market seems really intimidating, right? It seems impossible. There you're almost saying, look, you're going to be in the top 4 here on CoinMarketCap. Sounds crazy, right, for XLM? But you've got to understand, this is going to be at the peak of the next bull run. So you've got to be able to visualize where is the market going to be there. Markets are hugely retraced right now. You know this. Bitcoin's sitting here at 600 million in market cap. You know that Bitcoin's going to at least want to get to all-time highs, get to 1.2 trillion, 1.3 trillion, let alone if Bitcoin then wants to go to $100,000 plus. Then the whole market's growing. Ethereum will be knocking on the doors of 10,000. That's your premise. And so for you to then think that XLM can't get to that $77 billion mark, it's actually a realistic aim. It's something you can account for. You can make the argument that if things go right and they take that market share, they can get to 77 billion. This is not, just me making up numbers. No, it can work, right? Because you can see here, PayPal's 80 billion. There are companies like Stripe at 50 billion. You can get to this kind of a territory, right? Between 60 and 70 and 80 billion dollars here in market. But they've got to get things right. The market's got to grow. We've got to be in a bull market. Okay, so those are your cases. And again, I call this a base case. I wouldn't invest if this didn't happen. This is my target case. This is what I would be expecting. This one here, the 20x, would be stretch, right? I wouldn't ever account for it, but it'd be nice to see if some of my altcoins in my portfolio hit their stretch target. I'll be doing well, and a certain percentage will. And then the next one is the one you just do not account for. Well, the next two I've put in here, you just do not account for these. You do not account for the 100x or the 150x. But sometimes when you invest in a basket of altcoins, some of them will hit. Some of them will just moon for whatever different reason, some narrative, or just the timing was right, or it just did really well, or there's some momentum behind it, or Elon Musk promotes Doge, right? Who would have guessed that when they invested in Doge? But you can't account for it. It's not prudent as an investor to sit there and say, oh, I'm budgeting for this to do 100x. No, because 100x takes you to $14 here. That brings you to $400 billion in market cap. You're basically saying to all intents and purposes between these ones that you're getting to Visa's size in terms of 500 billion in market cap, right? Every single thing would have to go your way. The market would have to grow, adoption would have to grow, XLM would have to beat all their competitors and be the de facto payments platform for everything and take over finance. And that's a competitive space, right? We know particularly the finance space right now is hugely competitive. Elon Musk with now setting up X. You then have WorldCoin, which I made a video on. I'll link that up for you guys to go watch as well. It's a competitive space. So that's where I'm sitting here in terms of XLM. How does that stack up against Casper? And therefore, which one presents the best risk to return profile? That's what we're looking at here. Now, of course, I'm going to caveat this by saying that there is a tokenomics warning, right? Particularly with Stellar, you've got 54% of the coins in circulation. You can see this on CoinMarketCap. Just go here, 54%. So when you're buying at $3.8 billion, you have to remember that the fully diluted market cap is already $7.1 billion. If that doesn't make sense to you or you want a deep breakdown into tokenomics, comment below tokenomics XLM or tokenomics Casper, and I can do separate videos for both of those, doing a deep dive tokenomics breakdown for you guys. Okay, very important. For Casper, it's not as bad. It's 69% in circulating supply, and even your fully diluted market cap is $1 billion. So straight away, if you're just comparing which one's cheaper, just a cheaper price, it's Casper that's the cheaper price, okay? Because the market cap is 750 billion versus the 3.8, okay? So significantly cheaper here on Casper by magnitude of at least five times cheaper than Stellar on just pure price. But what we're looking here is risk to reward. Let's say instead that you take your $1,000 or $10,000 or $50,000, whatever you can afford, and you go ahead and start investing in Casper. Remember, in order for your $10,000 to make you a millionaire on XLM, it needed to 100x. And therefore, you're putting it in this range here for it to become like in the size of Visa. Quite difficult. Let's now see how Casper compares up. So we spend our money, we spend 1,000, we get 26,000 coins. Great stuff. And so then we say, let's go for the 5x. And just like we said here, the 5x on XLM was not very difficult, right? You wanted it to get to 71 cents, where previously all-time highs were sitting at 93 cents. It's been to 93 cents in a previous cycle, right? Before the XRP ruling, before some of the clarity we've had, before Larry Fink and BlackRock care about crypto, right? It did that before. Now you're looking at Casper, and Casper's profile is a little bit different. You're already sitting here at 0.038 cents, and it's been at 0.042. Okay, so if we jump on over to the Casper price, we're already there pretty much at all-time highs. And we just had a little bit of a cooling off this week, but it's there at all-time highs. So in order for you to make the argument that it's going to 5x, you want it to now go into price discovery, right? It's a newer coin. It's a bit more novelty there for Casper. There's more unknown, right? Stellar XLM has been there for a long time. With Casper, it's more that new exciting project. Now, I'm not using that to make a judgment. No, I'm going to come to my conclusion at the end of this video. But what you need to understand is they do have different risk-return profiles. And as long as you understand them, you can make your investment decision. So we're sitting here, 5x takes you to 0.19, so 19 cents here, and that's going to bring you to a market cap of $3 billion. Here's where things get interesting. So yes, Casper has to do more to get to that $3.7 billion. It has to go into the unknown. It has to go to prices it's never been to before, whereas XLM doesn't. But the price it has to get to is far, far cheaper than where XLM is, right? XLM has to get to 19 billion for you to do a 5x. Casper has to get to $3.7 billion for you to do a 5x. So in other words, Casper just needs to get to the market cap that XLM is at today for you to get a 5x from here. So the risk to return profile is very, very different. You need to understand that. So on the one hand, there's a pro, and on the other hand, there's a con. We need to understand the difference between them. When we're looking at XLM, a 10x, you need $38 billion. The project would have to be the size of XRP, which is one of the biggest cryptocurrencies in the market right now, right? XRP's fourth position here, $36 billion. Casper just needs to get 7.57. And even now in a bear market, $7.57 billion brings you here, just above Tron, right? Just above Tron there in market cap. Now, again, we're not making the argument that that's going to happen now. You'd be investing in this, hoping that the next bull run, when things are going the right way and Bitcoin's running and Ethereum's running, then you want to see Casper getting to $7.5 billion. And it's very possible. We've seen layer one solutions move at far rapid pace. I mean, I always use Cardano as the example. Cardano was sitting between $60 and $80 billion last cycle in market cap without their smart contracts platform launched, right? And I hold Cardano, but I'm just letting you know that when that money comes into the market, it'll be looking for places to go. So $7.5 billion again, as a nice target case, is not too difficult, right? Again, I wouldn't invest in Casper if I didn't think it could do that 10x. What's the point, right? There are so many other altcoins that can give you a 10x. Why would I hold Casper going into the next bull run if I didn't at least think it can take my 10,000 and give it back to me as 100,000. Now we're going to look for the slightly stretchier case, and the slightly stretchier case brings you to that 20x, right? That's going to bring you to 76 cents, and you need a $15 billion in market cap. Like I just explained, that's not crazy size. $15 billion for a proof of work layer one is not crazy size. I know it feels like it now because we're in a bear market and you go to 15 billion and you see, oh, look, 15 billion brings me above Dogecoin. I'll be in the top 6 in coin market, top 7 in coin market cap. But that's not the point. When the market grows, we're huge retrace right now, that money's going to flow in. And many of these projects, Solana, Tron, Polygon, Litecoin, Polkadot, all of these were well above those sizes when Bitcoin was sitting at 69,000. And that's what we have to remind ourselves of now when we're investing. So again, your 10,000 would be worth 200,000 at that point, and just $1,000 invested today would bring you 20 grand once it's delivered that 20x. And now we need to look at the two crazy situations, right? Again, the ones which I never account for, but I always put it in there. These are the moon targets. And the moon targets are saying, okay, can we get 100 to 150x? This is always the number that people call out, right? Oh my God, buy this coin, it's going to 100x. Okay, what does it actually mean to 100x? 100x for Casper means this. It means the token will be sitting at $3.8. Market cap will be sitting at $75 billion. Okay, $75 billion right now, again, in a bear market, puts you here just below Tether, right? So above XRP, double XRP's valuation right now. Okay, but again, you're asking yourself, can it do that in a bull market if everything goes its way? And what I mean by everything going its way for Casper, it would need to be a heavy proof of work narrative. It needs to be that everybody's looking for a solid layer one solution that's energy efficient, that's scalable, and is proof of work. And that is why I personally like to hold Casper and Cadena. I did a breakdown video of Casper versus Cadena. They're both proof of work layer one solutions because I want to have a hedge. I don't want my portfolio to be full of layer one solutions, which are all proof of stake. What if proof of stake are targeted by Gary Gensler? What if they're deemed a security? What if we end up in a bit of a problem? right? You need to have a hedge, and that's why I want my portfolio to be balanced. And I think that's one of the reasons we're seeing a lot of movement recently here with Casper, because we saw all of the Bitcoin forks doing well as well. Do you remember when Gary Gensler sued Coinbase, sued Binance, started going after a bunch of these altcoins in their filing? We saw a lot of movement in Bitcoin Cash, in Litecoin, and even these proof of work plays like Cadena and Casper as well. So this is the plan I wouldn't plan for, but that would take your 10 grand and turn it into $1 million. And look, $75 billion isn't crazy. If you're looking for a moonshot, these are numbers which actually stack up as pretty decent risk to reward, right? Again, if you go ahead and put 10 grand in, you'll comfortably hope that you can do a 5 to 10x, right? That's getting you to 3 to 7 billion. If Casper can't get to between 3 and 7 billion dollars in the next bull run, like that's a complete fail. Their whole team has failed, the investment failed, and you've just got to put it as a write-off in your portfolio. All the best investors, all the best fund managers, they do not get every call right. They'll invest in 10 projects and 1 or 2 of them will hit the moon case. A couple of them will just return their money. A couple of them will do okay, and a couple of them will fail, right? That's okay. That's what you need to do. It's not that you need to pick every single project perfectly. No. Manage your risk to reward, stack the cards in your favor, and then start DCAing into your favorite plays which you have the highest conviction in. And don't sway with the wind. Don't just keep moving every time there's a new news article or YouTube video made about your specific altcoin. Don't just suddenly move and change emotions. Do your research once, do it properly, and have conviction. I will be stacking both of these. I will be looking for nice opportunities to add to both of these. I think both are strong narratives. Both present completely different risk to return profiles. The tokenomics here on XLM are not perfect, right? That doesn't go in its favor. The fact that it's already very expensive does not go in its favor. What does go in its favor is I like the narrative it's going after. It's a very hot narrative in terms of payments. I like the fact that the XRP ruling went in their favor as well. That's going to bode well for XLM. I like the fact that they've got their own novel consensus mechanism. That's good. It's good diversification in the portfolio. But it is expensive, and the returns will get harder and harder to make on XLM. With Casper, completely different story, right? It's already at all-time highs. So where with XLM, I'm like, okay, even if it gets to all-time highs, I'm getting a good 5x. I've got a good hedge in my portfolio, because chance of it not getting back to all-time highs in the next bull market, I'd like to back that it would. Whereas with Casper, you're already sitting there at all-time highs. It needs to go into price discovery. It needs to create a new norm, build a new audience in a community, but it can do that. And that's why in your portfolio, you want some of the old guard. I always talk about in my portfolio, I've got things like Cardano, Matic, Chainlink, which people sleep on, but they're just quietly there building. And then I look for the more riskier plays, right? And I take risks, knowing that some of those risks won't pay off, right? I'll add an Algorand, I'll add a Solana, even though they had some outages. I added some Casper, right? Like, you take some risk because you can't make returns without taking risk. So there you have it, guys. Let me know in the comments, which one are you stacking? Do you have a preference between one of these? Do you like both of them? Let me know in the comments. If you want to see that tokenomics video, let me know as well. But also, let me know what type of altcoins you want me to do a similar breakdown video on. Comment the ticker below and I'll get that video spun up. Thanks for watching. Go watch Casper versus Cadena here, and I'll see you in the next one.